It's time for the One Bar and Lupica Show, bringing you anything and everything Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome to professional football.
All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupica Show. I am One Bar with Lupigas on this dreary, cold Monday morning where the Minnesota Vikings are 1-5.
Yeah, it's sunk in. This team isn't good. I've accepted it. I'm not going to try to talk myself into them being better than what the record is. They are not a good football team, and all we can do is just dwell in our own misery, roll around in our own stink.
We'll roll around in that stink together. In this episode, we're talking about the 5 lessons learned from that stinky game yesterday. But yes, we did learn some things.
They're not always bad. They're not always good, but we are smarter now that we know them. So let's just hit them up. Let's hear what we got.
All right, let's do this. So lesson number 1, Kirk Cousins hasn't always been the most consistent guy, but I think it's official that we can say he has the yips. He is looking worse than he ever has.
The yips, the shits, whatever you want to call it, he is having a bad season, and you can't deny it. You can't defend him. 2 of his 3 interceptions yesterday were just really, really bad choices. Why he threw the ball where he did, and actually look at it in the replay, Thielen was open down the field. He could have hit him probably for a score right off the bat, would have flipped the entire game. 2 games in a row now where he's had some really bad stretches of football. And there's nothing the Vikings can do. That's the worst part. There's really no one to replace him with. You don't have that young up-and-comer. And it's too early in the season to go to a guy like Jake Browning or Nate Stanley at this point. So they're going to ride with him and I guess hope he works himself out of his funk, but he is not good right now.
Yeah, the yips, you nailed it. Yips, shits, whatever you want to call it. Not only are they bad throws, they're just really weird, bad decisions. He has other options to go to. Yeah. And he is not looking great, and it's just going to get worse, I'm afraid.
The only thing you could defend him is say maybe he's taken so many hits now he's really gun shy and expecting to get hit even when it's not there. But there's a couple of times yesterday where he had all the time in the world, and he still made some shitty throws.
Yes, very, very gross. So Kirk Cousins, maybe he'll get rid of those yips and come back and look fantastic. We'll see.
The yips.
Are you rapping?
Spaceballs.
Oh, Spaceballs. All right, another one. Let's see. Ezra Cleveland. I don't think we're completely on the same page as this is together, whatever you want to say. But he isn't worse than Drew Samia. But it doesn't appear he's much better than Drew Samia.
Well, I think he's way better. And the deciding factor for me is the penalties. What do you have yesterday? 0. Drew Samia has usually 4 or 5 by the first quarter. Yeah, again, the run game wasn't really going well, but I do feel like Kirk Cousins probably had the most time that he's ever really had this year with Samia in there at right guard. It seemed to me most of the pressure came from the left side. So for his rookie debut at a position he's not going to stay at, he showed me enough to keep him there moving forward.
Oh, I think he should stay there. I just think he's going to be pretty much the same. I mean, he gave up 4 pressures, 1 sack. Not overly great, but it was his first action in a weird position, so I definitely am giving him that. I just don't think it's going to be what was that look for?
I was wondering if you remembered your first action in a weird position.
Yes, I do, and I'm going to keep that to myself. It's a secret. Yeah, they might as well leave him there. There's no reason unless he completely falls off the rails. So let's another lesson learned. Mike Hughes, once again, I think he got 14 snaps in, left the game with a neck injury. Is it safe to say he just might be done?
Done or just he's definitely. I learned that you can't rely on him for any stretch of time. This guy's been nothing but injured throughout his career. Spends more time on IR than he does on the field. So will he come back? Maybe, probably. Who knows? Will he get hurt again? Yes, I am 100% sure. If he does come back, he will get hurt again, and maybe you just move on from him.
Yeah, point. I think injury, it's always tough to call someone a bust when they deal with injuries like this. But I think it's fair to say he's definitely a bust. Just the continue injuries with the neck. I mean, that's a pretty serious thing. They might just shut his ass down for the year and reevaluate in the offseason. I mean, that's something that just can't continue to happen.
Yeah, and then the worst part is I think he's played fairly decent when he's been out there. Did well last week in Seattle. But yeah, that neck injury is scary. And if, for his sake and, the team probably doesn't want to have him break that thing on their dime. So Yeah, maybe this is it for him this year. Put him on IR, see what it's looking like next year, and make your decision in the offseason.
Sad situation. I was actually very excited when we drafted Mike Hughes. I like the value, so we'll see what happens. All right, the other one we can just expect to hear. Lesson learned number 4. We can expect to hear that we should fire Mike Zimmer until it happens. I mean, we're going to hear that for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we're getting loads and loads of that in the comment section on the videos lately. It's hard to disagree with it at this point. 1-5, and him saying the same old shit every post-game press conference. Got to look at the tape. We got to do some things better. There's been a few times where he just flat out says he doesn't know what's going on, or why he doesn't understand why we're playing good one week and bad, the other week. The coach should know these things, and to come out and flat out say that, I don't know. I don't think that really bodes well for his future here in Minnesota. And again, maybe we kind of talked about this yesterday. Maybe the game's passing by a little bit. His scheme, his way of doing things maybe is a little bit archaic.
Yeah, he really doesn't have an answer for anything. The fire Zimmer chance from the no fans in the stand will be warranted. When you lose, especially a game like you did yesterday, that's just inexcusable. And what really chapped my ass is in that press conference afterwards, out of all the stuff that he brought up, he was mad about the onside kick. He said it wasn't a good onside kick. I mean, are you kidding me? That's what you're going to bring up is the onside kick. He's reaching.
It's bizarre. The only thing that's going to cool his seat from being hot are some wins, and not just one win here and there, but a stretch of wins, 3-4 in a row. But I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, not only a stretch of wins, but just something out of the box. If they're just some wins that are just like, oh, that's great, and we end up with randomly 6 or 7 wins, that ain't going to do it for me. He's got to do something crazy, which I don't see happening. We'll be talking about that a lot more, I'm sure.
I can't wait.
Final lesson learned at 1-5 and showing zero hopes of getting any better. I think it's fair to say that at the most, the Vikings win a total of 5 games.
Yeah, I learned that too, because here's the thing. You look at this young secondary, these young corners, they look great one week. The next week, they look like they've never played before. So you're kind of taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and these bad games are so bad, you're losing these games. You can't give up 40 points a game and expect to be better than a 5-win team. So until that changes consistently, there's no way this team's making the playoffs. And 5 wins is probably looking like the most they can probably muster out at this point.
Yeah, 5 might actually be very generous by the time we get to the end of the year. I mean, we still got some very tough games ahead of us. And the Lions, we got them twice, and they're better than us, and that makes me sad, very sad.
Lions, Bears, Packers, pretty much everybody in the NFL.
Yeah, the Vikings are at the bottom of the shit, and it reeks.
I think they can maybe beat the Jets in overtime.
I don't know. That'd probably end up in a tie. But confidence is low. But those are our 5 lessons learned from losing to the winless Falcons. Winless no more.
Yeah. Those are some lessons learned. And here's a lesson you're about to learn right now. It has been proven that laughter can help weight loss. So I need to go rent a bunch of comedies.